Oh, thank you, sir. Now, I was happy to hear that, but I would have missed that if I just walked out. I had to force myself. And this is why I'm telling the story. I, Mike van Deventer, the 5 Rubies, talking to you. I had to force myself to choose to care. It's not automatic. I don't decide, oh, I'm a caring person, and now I'm going to be caring all the time. You go from situation to situation, and each situation, choose what am I doing in this situation. And you know, they say people don't care how much you know. The marketing plan, know the blah, blah, blah. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you stop talking, it's doing. You know, once again, I could yesterday say, well, I'm a caring person. But in this instance, I'm going to just look after myself. That's not caring. Caring is what you do, and caring is what counts. Caring is what counts. I've seen some very, very nasty, uncaring attitudes by uplines towards downlines in this business that will make you shudder and think, but don't they understand the business? Don't they understand that by putting somebody down, minimizing somebody, using them for your own goals, even if that harms them, that is exactly against the spirit of the business. So, thirdly, is of course honesty and integrity. I don't have to explain honesty to you. Integrity is something I had to learn what that means. It just means being one. In maths, I know more about maths than I thought. They say maths, an integer is a whole number. Am I right? Not divided. Integrity is not talking one thing and doing something else. Talking honesty and then you cheat somebody out of their money. That's not integrity. Now, please don't say I think I'm accusing anybody. I don't know if anybody here does that. I'm using it purely as an example. Without honesty and integrity, at some stage we're going to find out. We found out. That's why I've seen PTs, diamonds, 3 diamonds, 4 diamonds drop out of the business because of a lack of honesty and integrity. The thing means nothing if it's not built on the foundation of honesty and integrity. And that means a win-win. You win, I win. If you lose, I might win short term, but long term I'm going to lose. Which means think long term. Don't do anything just to qualify this at the cost of somebody else. Because this month I'm qualified, but now these people discover that this person is not honest with me. Long term, they might not be around. Well, they could have been somebody who became a diamond. This thing that many of you have seen, people will follow and do business with people they like and trust. It is so self-evident. If I don't like anyone, someone, you know, I still try and value them and respect them, but I'm not going to associate with them. There was somebody in the business that for years I associated with quite close. But this person was a real cost. And you know, I've learned one of the things I've learned in life is that gossip to you about somebody else, they're going to gossip about you to the next person. And I decided I I don't want to be involved in this. And I just broke off the relationship. Or not broke off, I just moved out of the relationship because I didn't like that. Trust. If I can't trust you, why would I put my money and my future in your hands? And that's why Jim Rohn says success is not something you pursue, chase the PV, chase the money. You're attracted by the person you become. Likable, trustworthy, caring. That doesn't mean that we've got to be perfect. None of us will ever be perfect in this life. But you know, if you're genuinely trustworthy and caring, and you do make a mistake, and you're going to apologize, people will accept it and move on. But if you add a history of bad, you make another bad. You go, oh, sorry. They'll find it hard to accept. So, Proctor, Jesus knows more about it than I do. He said, don't build a business. That's understanding the business. That's how network marketing can be successful, building people. Not doing anything to minimize or break people. This old story, they say skills is only 20% of success, the rest is character. Stephen Covey said 90% of failure in life is character failure, not competency failure. Many of you have seen this because this is not a new slide. But we need to let this direct our lives. That's why personal development, developing our character, is almost more important than developing the business. Put the horse in front of the car. And then, those of you who are not Christians, just bear with us. We are Christians, so let me just go back. Can I just put on my ministry outfit for a moment, please? And preach to the Christians. Okay. You won't be damaged if you're not a Christian because these are eternal truths. But you see, we call ourselves Christians. We think to be a Christian is going to church, that's good, that's part of it. We think reading the Bible and praying, that's good, that's part of it. Even giving some tithes, that's part of it. But that's only part of it. Christians should live like Christ did. And that's the challenge, because generally we don't. So what Paul writes about, he says, do nothing out of selfish ambition, which comes naturally to us, or vain conceit, the ego. He says, rather in humility, value others above yourselves. Remember, I spoke about valuing people. It's not me saying that. You Christians, it's in the Bible. If we don't value people, we are disobeying God's wishes for our lives. Rather in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. And then I'm not going to carry on beyond this. In your relationships, have the same mindset as Jesus Christ. What did he do? He left heaven, came to earth, died as a condemned person. Why? To save us. The ultimate example of servant leadership. What is our attitude? Me. My ambitions, my ego. No. become a servant. Just do more. Paul said, do not think more of yourself than you should. You know, I often think that if I'd become diamond when I wanted to, that's now like probably about 30 years ago, I might have been very conceited. First diamond in the Eagle team. Big shot. I think that the fact that I haven't been diamond yet has helped keep me more humble than I might be. I'm not using that as an excuse. I just thought of that the other day. Because it's so easy to get what we call in South Africa big-headed. Oh, I'm the man. I'm not big. I'm not diamond. Everybody's got to go on straight to me. No, the higher up you go, the more you need to serve. That's not me saying that. The Holy Book says that. And lastly, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. I have to model God against being prideful because I need God's grace in my life. You full of pride, you're working against God. Okay, here ends the sermon. I'll set the plate around for the collection in a moment. Some of you got that, some of you didn't. Okay, personal growth, signs of maturity. Able to admit when you're wrong. It takes a very mature person to be able to be teachable. If you've got a big ego, and I'm not suggesting any of you, I'm just talking in general, because I've seen people with big egos, 3 diamonds, 4 diamonds, and more, unteachable, con, vulnerable. Don't let people, don't show an image of I'm perfect. You know, you want to see the ideal, look at me. That's unbelievable. I know such people, and they think they can fool people. You know, we all have our hurts, our weaknesses. We all make mistakes. Now, I don't have to share all of my hurts and mistakes with you because I don't want to depress you. But sometimes, you know, if someone says, and I'm struggling, you know, I understand. I also have struggled. That's what I mean by being vulnerable. And be humble, we spoke about that in willingness to serve. An immature person wants to be served. A mature person understands that serving is the way to greatness. The more you serve, the more you deserve. Last couple of ideas. We're not running too late. In fact, according to when we started, we're on time. Just remember, making mistakes is not failing. Failure is giving up when you make mistakes. I've been longer in the business than you, so possibly I've made a lot more mistakes than you have. And that's why I value the people for being in 10, 15, 20, 25 years. Not giving up. Mistakes, learn from them. So you can either learn from other people's mistakes, which is the preferable way, or learn from your own mistakes, which is the hard way, but as long as we learn. And this is the tough one. If it's to be, it's up to me. My team is going to grow healthy, and the vibe in my team, the morale in my team is going to be good and uplifting. It starts with me. It's not my team's responsibility to create a positive environment. Remember I spoke about leadership? John Maxwell saying, for things to get better, the leaders got to get better. You and I, we're responsible for the atmosphere in our teams. Not the downlines. The downlines can cause problems, and they do. But how we handle it, how we respond to that, that's the important thing. If it's to be successful, to me. So, practically, we need to change. I think we all agreed on that. At least I hope we did. Because we are where we didn't want to be, and we want to be better. So, four things. What must I stop doing? Now, I won't tell you because I don't know exactly what you should stop doing. But remember, I said when I put my right leg in first, I did do it unthinkingly. People did unthinking. You know, you go to school, you get your education, you go and learn a job. So what happens? You're in the job, get up in the morning, you eat your breakfast, you find the traffic, you do the work you've been trained for. Come home in the evening, find the traffic, tired, watch, eat, and watch a bit of TV. And tomorrow you do the same, and the next day you do the same. So you don't have to think. You just have to get from day to day. Do you agree? I remember Bob Proctor once said, and I think it can't be right. But he said people don't think. And I thought about that, that's true. You know, you can go throughout the day without thinking. Let me give you a quick example. One day this girl was in Cape Town on Saturday. So she got to the venue, I don't know how it happened, but anyway, I had to take her back to the airport. Now the train was in the southern suburbs, we live in the northern suburbs. And there's a certain route we take from the train to our house. But now I've got this gear in the car. I've got to go from the train in an opposite direction to the airport and then to my house. So we drive and we talk, drive and we talk. And suddenly I discovered I'm on my way home. I'm not on the way to the airport. I wasn't thinking. You know, it's a silly example, but it proves a point. So we need to think and say, well, listen, I need some change in my business. I need to improve. What must I stop doing? I don't know what it is. You need to discover that. And then on the other opposite end, what must I start doing? Things that I haven't been doing. I haven't sponsored. I haven't upgraded. I haven't worked on personal development. I haven't been exercised. Whatever. And then there are things that we do more sponsoring, better upgrading, more exercise. And let me add more rest. We can't just work. We do need to have rest as well. Speaking, you know, one of the things that saddened me, if I look back at my life, is how little time I had for my children when they were small. Not by choice, just the situation I was in. What I enjoy so much, and that's why I spend a lot of time with my grandchildren. And indirectly with my children as well, helping my children with the grandchildren. Because now I have the time to do it. I'm doing more for my grandchildren than I used to do for my own children. Sometimes we have to do more of something. Sometimes we don't have to stop doing, but we have to do less of. I've got to go to coffee shops less. I'm invulnerable. But this is your challenge. You want to change? Oh, I need to change. I'm going to change. Okay. What are you going to stop doing? What are you going to start doing? You're going to do more of it, you're going to do less of it. Unless you find answers to these questions and implement them, you're not going to change. And maybe next year, this time we're around, and you might not even be in the room. Because you're going backwards instead of forwards. I'm serious. And I'm not saying this to be hurtful or judgmental. I'm saying this because I want to help you. Next year, this time, if we're around and we're together, you mustn't be, and I don't want to be where we are now. Can we agree on that? Yes. So, what we have to stop doing, start doing more of this. And then, a last idea, teamwork makes the dream work. Now, both in Kenya and Uganda. And again, I'm now going to be honest with you. I could pass over this and make as if it's not so. But in both countries, there's been a lot of disruptiveness and infighting and whatever else in the teams. In Tanzania, it's the exact opposite. There, everybody works with everybody, and there's harmony and happiness, and they're growing. And you in Kenya, you battle to grow. There are other reasons, but this is one of them. This is a seriously important one. You see, because a new person comes into the business and they come into a type negative environment. You know what drew me into Neolife in the beginning, even before we were doing much? I drive 130 kilometers one way to go to training on Monday nights as often as I could. And because I wanted to learn, because I enjoyed it. It was I was in the army, push, go, troubles, boom. And here I'm in an environment where I feel safe, I feel uplifted. I drive back home and I remember that so well. That was a large part that kept me in the business. What is the atmosphere that people come into the business here and equally in teams against each other, uplines, downlines against each other, tribals against each other? In Neolife, we won. All of us in Neolife. Again, if I may refer back to an example made for the church, where there was in the early church and even today, I read the other day about the Baptists in America. You get more Baptists than I can count on my fingers and toes. Southern Baptist, this Baptist, that Baptist. The church is very split up and divided. What is Paul said out should be the church is one body. And every member of the body is important. I saw in Kenya walking towards the hotel from the office. I saw a guy minus his bottom leg. Now he can get around. He can't run. He's what's the word? You know what I mean. There's a lady that's that she's a director, she's blind. She gets along very well, but still she can't read a normal book. She can't see where she's going. Sometimes she needs help. She's disadvantaged. But the rest of her body is fine. She's good looking from a man's point of view. And the eyes are working. Now, we are the body of Neolife. We are the brand ambassadors for Neolife. We carry the image of Neolife outside. It's the hand fighting with the foot. You know, I don't know, maybe you don't have all the proverbs. Certainly in my language, there's a lot of proverbs that didn't make sense to you. But in South Africa, the English have a proverb: you cut your nose, spite your face. You know, you're upset with your face, so you think, well, I cut my nose. If you think about it, that's what we do. I'm upset with my downline. Now I'm going to mess with it. Or I'm upset with my upline, I'm going to mess with my upline. What sense does that make? We are Neolife. When people see Neolife, what is it they see? They see us. Before they see the company. So we're not in a very good position. Personally, most of us, myself included, as well as team-wise. I'm talking now Uganda, Neolife Uganda. So don't curse the dark. Let's call it we're in a dark place. And I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just telling you what you know and what is. So don't curse the dark like the cat. Get a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Talk to somebody. Get a little bit better and talk to somebody else. Work on your attitude. You can't change all at once, but little bit at a time. I may have wronged Bashir. Up to me to go and say sorry. He may accept it, he may not. I say sorry, he doesn't want to accept it. I've done what I could. Do what you can. And then go and light somebody else's candle. Spread out. Pass on a good attitude. And see how our world eventually lights up. Many of you have been to a candle ceremony where one candle lights in the end, the whole place is lit up. And that could be your influence and my influence through network marketing. Where one person becomes 2, 3, 4, eventually many, and your influence and my influence permeates through to many others. And my challenge for myself, and I give that to you as a challenge as well, is what will be spread? Light or darkness? Positivity or negativity? That, I think, is our very biggest challenge. We want to change and prepare. It's our most difficult challenge. But that's what Kenya and Uganda need. We want to catch up with the other countries. With that and all the other things I've been speaking of. Now, you said it's okay for me to be honest with you. Yes. I've been honest. You may not like it. You may be cross me for saying things like this. But that's the reality I see. And if I may, maybe so bold to add to this being, it's up to the highest level in the company. So if Mike, you like, you know, the sad thing is when Paul was released, and I was upset about that myself, but I started understanding why, which I'm not going to explain now. He's a good person. did a lot of good, but there were things that he didn't. A lot of people were very negative towards AJ. It's AJ's fault. This isn't my script, I just thought of it now, but I want to point out, remember that curve I showed you? That started 10 years earlier, and AJ only came about 5 years ago. So the decline started long before AJ. But people blame AJ. You know that decision came down from Marco and Kendra. AJ was just in front. He was the cannon fodder, as they say now. The person that you bashed, and not knowing that that was an outline decision. So what I'm saying to you, and this concern of the company and including mine, is not a negative concern. We know what has been done here. We know what could be done in future. And that's what we want for you. You see, I could have come here and told you a lot of nice stories and not exposed myself to criticism because I pointed out certain things. But I would be like a doctor who sees a patient and diagnoses something bad but doesn't tell the patient. So what does that help the patient? I want you to accept that I'm here to help you. There's no profit in it for me, money-wise or otherwise, to come and aggravate you and talk down on you and judge you and blah, 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 blah. So can we accept that arrangement and accept my credibility and goodwill? So if you feel hurt by anything I've said, it wasn't to hurt you, it was to help you. If you're willing to be helped.